Alright, this is going to be perhaps be a little bit of a change in pace. If you followed the other reviews, I've been perhaps a little too critical and pick-a-unish and nitpicking, and that dragged down the score for the other seasons. So this is going to be a pretty strong change of course, because this season I can unambiguously say is incredibly good and very, very well done in terms of almost every single aspect, from stunts to performances to special effects, plot cohesion, and so on and so forth. Characterization, we meet a couple of new people, we say goodbye to some other people. So overall, extremely, extremely well done. And it starts off very, very strong with an interesting kind of weird dream kind of logic episode that explains Buffy's absence from Sunnydale, because we have a bridge here from seasons 2 to 3 where she deals with the trauma of what happened with season 2, and we see a lot of evolution in terms of her friends and how they deal with how she basically has changed from this ordinary person to this kind of mythic superhero and how they have to cope with that. So I think overall this is an incredibly strong season, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. However, there are some issues which they're minor, but when they start accumulating, they are going to drag down the score. For the most part, most of the characters make sense, and the characterization is extremely powerful, and the plots do make sense for the most part. But some of the filler episodes really, really drag down the season for no reason. Also, as I noted in season 2, they're really pivoting away from the horror genre, and this is a really strong example of that. We're going to see a huge injection of science fiction, and I think for my money, honestly, season 4 does it a lot better. I don't mind that science fiction becomes a bigger part of the Buffyverse, but I just think that overall Buffy has never been the strongest part of Whedon. I just think he just did a much better job with Firefly as well as Angel, and combining those aspects of genre he really likes the most. This is sort of a kind of mid-range, even if at the very top of how he can work with characters and what he wants the plots and myths to do for him. And you have to be critical because this is really Joss Whedon's last season. He's going to start paying attention to his other creations much more, so he's kind of take a kind of hands-off approach to Buffy. And ironically, I think in the short term it did actually do a good job. I think season 4 is a little stronger than season 3, and I think season 5 is probably the best Buffy season. But afterwards, you're going to see a huge drop in quality because, again, he's just not there as much as he was before. He kind of drops in for some of the better episodes, but he's really kind of having a more laissez-faire attitude. And I have to be honest that the political commentary, when they do it in this season, is really ham-fisted and doesn't quite make a lot of sense. It doesn't seem, I think, to work with the larger themes of the season, especially with the mayor, who I think has performed really well, but really makes a lot less sense than Adam or even Glory. And again, it's a comparative issue, and this is not spoilerish, so you're going to meet ahead who those people are. But yeah, I just think as a person, and those other characters also had their issues, but I just think the mayor's plan at the end of the day really never made any sense. On top of that, I would have to say there's 3 kind of major minor complaints I've had. Is that Faith does a really great job of structuring the season, and when she's on screen, it really has a lot of momentum, but that also becomes a big kind of problem later, because you're always asking, well, wait, where's Faith? If Faith were here, this problem wouldn't... Yeah, that also becomes a big problem of where exactly is she? Why is she absent at certain points in time? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Secondly, Giles is really played, I think, too radically in weird directions. At certain points, he's very evil, frankly, and other points he's very sympathetic, and other points he's just buffoonish. He just, sort of is there for comedy relief, but we're not told why he's there for comedy relief. It's just him, I consider kind of the most incoherent part. I understand what they're trying to do to manipulate him for the plot, but it just seemed a little too radical at times and didn't really make a lot of sense. And season 4 is also kind of be continuing not figuring out what to do with Giles, so that was a really big problem. However, would say at the 3rd level, with, of course, the Buffy-Angel dynamic, I think for the most part it makes a lot of sense in terms of how their relationship evolves, and they do a clever thing, sort of a fake out with Spike in one episode, which I think was really well done. But I do have to say, and I'm not going to say which episode, but one episode where I'll just say a certain deception occurs that really doesn't make sense in terms of the mythology of Angel or his character or why he would act the way he acts. but they're expecting us to buy it because we just like the Buffy Angel dynamic a lot. But I would say, except for that one major episode, which really, really does not make any sense at all in terms of Angel or Buffy, for the most part, they do a good job of almost giving everyone a good piece of action and screen time. And even the minor characters like Jonathan get a lot of evolution in their how they're going to work with the larger mythology. And there's also a lot of great little parodies that occur within the larger season that are really hold up over time. All right, so I'm giving it a very strong score of 8 out of 10. Some issues here and there, but yeah, season 3, an extremely powerful and good season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All right, this has been Pop Cult Analyzed. If you like the content, please hit the like button and or subscribe. Thank you for listening. Please be safe.